Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning Russian with Learn Russian. So after that last lesson, which I think was kind of difficult, we have a bit of a shorter lesson and I think somewhat easier lesson this time. Lesson 12, speaking about reasons, because and that's why. Почему, потому что, and поэтому. So these are fairly easy concepts. I think we can get through this one fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and... this is already, just from the picture, this is already shaping up to be an awkward conversation, but let's see what these two people have to say.
Майкл, где ты был неделю назад?
Я был дома.
А почему ты был дома?
Потому что я болел.
Если ты болел, ты был в поликлинике?
Нет, я не был в поликлинике.
Почему?
Потому что я не знаю, где моя поликлиника.
Хорошо. А где ты был в понедельник?
Позавчера?
Да, позавчера, в понедельник. Ты был на встрече?
Я не был на встрече.
Почему?
Потому что я не знал, где будет встреча, в офисе или в ресторане.
А почему ты не спросил?
Потому что я не знал, кто знает, где будет встреча.
А что ты делал вчера?
Вчера, во вторник?
Да, почему ты не был в офисе на работе?
Потому что я был в магазине, и я покупал подарок маме.
Какой подарок? Ты уволен!
Почему?
Oh boy, that's the kind of conversation that you just can't really... Well, I mean, I know it's acted out, but I still kind of cringe. It's kind of... it's pretty awkward. Let's see what's going on. So the director, which is obviously this woman... Michael, I'll play her line.
Майкл, где ты был неделю назад?
Okay, где ты был? So, where were you? Where were you? Remember we learned from the last lesson, назад. So, неделю назад, a week ago. Michael, where were you a week ago?
Назад.
Я был дома.
Я был дома. I was at home.
А почему ты был дома?
And why? Почему ты был дома? And why were you at home?
Потому что я болел.
Потому что я болел. Because I was sick. Because in Russian is two words. Потому что it's two words, but these two words mean together because.
Если ты болел, ты был в поликлинике?
Ты был в поликлинике? A polyclinic. This is a wonderful Russian word, which we don't really hear very much in the West. Typically in a Western country, I guess you would go either to a hospital or to a doctor, but in Russia there's sort of the concept of a polyclinic, which is, it's a clinic that does many things. Poly is obviously a Greek word meaning several, so it's like an all-purpose clinic that you go to when you're sick in Russia, I guess. So if you were sick, were you in a polyclinic?
Нет, я не был в поликлинике.
No, hold on, я был, once again, was. No, I was not in a polyclinic.
Почему?
Why?
Потому что я не знаю, где моя поликлиника.
Yes, okay. Потому что, because I do not know where is my polyclinic.
Хорошо.
Okay. Actually, I don't think that's really okay, but okay.
А где ты был в понедельник?
And where were you on Monday? Где ты был в понедельник? Where were you on Monday?
Позавчера?
The day before yesterday?
Да, позавчера, в понедельник. Ты был на встрече?
Yes, the day before yesterday on Monday. Were you at the meeting? Hold on, let me get the bill here. The bill на встрече. Were you at the meeting?
Я не был на встрече.
No, I was not at the meeting. Я не был на встрече.
Почему?
Почему? Why? Why?
Потому что я не знал...
Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and put in потому что.
Где будет встреча, в офисе или в ресторане?
Because I did not know where is the meeting, in the office or in a restaurant.
А почему ты не спросил?
Почему ты не спросил? And why did you not ask?
Потому что я не знал, кто знает, где будет встреча.
Because I did not know who knows where is the meeting. Потому что я не знал.
А что ты делал вчера?
And what did you do yesterday?
Вчера, во вторник?
Да.
Yesterday on Tuesday.
Почему ты не был в офисе на работе?
Yes. Почему ты не был в офисе на работе? Yes, why were you not in the office at work?
Потому что я был в магазине, и я покупал подарок маме.
Потому что я был в магазине. Because I was in a store. Store is magazine. I bought a gift for my mom. What gift? Oh, hold on, let's...
Какой подарок? Ты уволен.
What gift? You are fired.
Почему?
Why? Yeah, it makes me cringe just kind of thinking about this one. But yeah, that's the conversation between them. And again, we learn or kind of reinforced that почему is why and потому что is because. So pretty straightforward. Here we have another dialogue. Let's this also looks like it could be a bit awkward. Let's see how this one plays out.
Дорогая, когда ты будешь отдыхать? Когда у тебя будет отпуск?
Я еще не знаю. А у тебя?
Я хочу в мае или в сентябре.
Почему?
Потому что в мае на море еще не очень жарко, а в сентябре уже не очень жарко. А ты знаешь, что я не люблю жару.
Я хочу в отпуск. Или в июне, или в июле.
А почему?
Потому что в это время на море жарко, а я очень люблю жаркую погоду.
И что мы будем делать?
Как что? Ты будешь отдыхать на море в мае, а я буду отдыхать в июне.
Ты думаешь, это будет хороший вариант?
Я думаю, что это будет идеальный вариант.
А где ты будешь отдыхать?
Я хочу отдыхать в Италии, потому что я очень люблю солнце. А ты где будешь?
А я буду отдыхать в Финляндии, потому что я не люблю жару.
Хорошо.
А где будут наши дети?
Они будут на даче. Там будет еще моя мама.
Ладно.
Yes, another very awkward conversation. This did not turn out well between the two of them. Okay, let's start from the beginning and do it one line at a time.
Дорогая, когда ты будешь отдыхать?
Okay. Darling, where you will будешь... Where will you take a vacation?
Когда у тебя будет отпуск?
Yeah, again, when... Отпуск. What's the difference between отпуск and... Wait, отпуск is vacation. Then what's отдыхает? I thought that отдыхает is... I guess отдыхает is like take a break. So, yeah, it's like when will you take a break? When will you take a vacation?
Я еще не знаю. А у тебя?
I don't know yet. And you?
Я хочу в мае или в сентябре.
I want to take a vacation, I guess, in May or in September.
Почему?
Why? Let's take, where's the почему here? There we go. Почему? And I'm pretty sure, well, let me just check, but
Потому что
yeah, I mean, obviously, following a почему, following a why, it's logical that it would be a потому что, a because.
в мае на море еще не очень жарко, а в сентябре уже не очень жарко. А ты знаешь, что я не люблю жару.
Okay, so here we see a contrast between еще and уже. Еще means, I think I talked about this before, it means like still or again, and then уже means already. So he's saying because in May at the sea, it's still not very hot, and in September, it's already not very hot. So the summer is hot, but in May, it's still not hot, and in September, it's already not hot. Ты знаешь, что я не люблю жару, and you know I don't like heat.
Я хочу в отпуск или в июне, или в июле.
I want to go on vacation either in June or in July. Notice how this is an interesting formulation, which you should notice. She literally says, "I want to rest or in June or in July." This is how they would formulate in Russian either this or that. That's kind of, I know it seems awkward. It's a very awkward formation for an English speaker, but this is how they typically say it in Russian. Either in June or July, или в июне, или в июне, или в июле, or in June or in July.
А почему?
And why?
Потому что в это время на море жарко.
I'll go ahead and put in the потому что.
А я очень люблю жаркую погоду.
So, because in this time at the sea, it's hot, and I really like hot weather.
И что мы будем делать?
И что мы будем делать? And what will we do?
Как что? Ты будешь отдыхать на море в мае, а я буду отдыхать в июне.
Okay, so ты будешь отдыхать в мае, я буду. Как что? So it's like, well, what do you think? You will relax at the sea in May, and I will relax in June.
Ты думаешь, это будет хороший вариант?
You think это будет? You think that will be a good variant, like a good option?
Я думаю, что это будет идеальный вариант.
Sounds like things are not going well here at this point. I think that that will be the ideal variant. Это будет идеальный вариант.
А где ты будешь отдыхать?
And where will you take your vacation? Будешь отдыхать?
Я хочу отдыхать в Италии, потому что я очень люблю солнце. А ты где будешь?
So, потому что, and а где ты? Wait, am I? What? I'm missing a budish. Am I dumb or am I... Did I do something wrong here? Somehow I feel like I might have made a mistake. I think I messed up something. Hold on. Let's finish the dialogue and then go back and check my mistakes. Sorry.
А я буду отдыхать в Финляндии, потому что я не люблю жару.
Okay. А я будет... sorry. Я будет... Wait, is that right? Hold on, I think I screwed something up here. It's я буду. Я буду отдыхать в Финляндии. Потому что я не люблю жару. Because, okay. I will take a vacation in Finland because I don't like heat. And the woman says...
Хорошо.
Okay.
А где будут наши дети?
Где будут наши дети? Yes. And where will be our children? This is... Будут is... yeah, that's what I did wrong. Будут is for third person plural. Where will our children be?
Они будут на даче. Там будет еще моя мама.
Ладно.
They will be at the dacha because there my mom will still be there. And then he says ladno, which is like okay. So sorry, this should have been будет. And then sorry, I mixed this up. I put muy budiesh like an idiot. No, it's ты будешь and then мы будем. Okay. So one more time. I'll play this one more time with the text filled in because I made a mistake and I'm getting confused, and I don't want to confuse you folks. So just in case something got mixed up here, let me go ahead and play this through one more time with the text in place.
Дорогая, когда ты будешь отдыхать? Когда у тебя будет отпуск?
Я еще не знаю. А у тебя?
Я хочу в мае или в сентябре.
Почему?
Потому что в мае на море еще не очень жарко, а в сентябре уже не очень жарко. А ты знаешь, что я не люблю жару.
Я хочу в отпуск или в июне, или в июле.
А почему?
Потому что в это время на море жарко, а я очень люблю жаркую погоду.
И что мы будем делать?
Как что? Ты будешь отдыхать на море в мае, а я буду отдыхать в июне.
Ты думаешь, это будет хороший вариант?
Я думаю, что это будет идеальный вариант.
А где ты будешь отдыхать?
Я хочу отдыхать в Италии, потому что я очень люблю солнце. А ты где будешь?
А я буду отдыхать в Финляндии, потому что я не люблю жару.
Хорошо.
А где будут наши дети?
Они будут на даче. Там будет еще моя мама.
Ладно.
Here we see again classical Russian wisdom gathered throughout the ages. I mean, this is, well, I hate to say it, but this is pretty much how it often goes. For some reason, women, I know this is a stereotype, but this has been borne out by experience that I've seen. Women love hot weather, and men tend to dislike hot weather. Men tend to prefer it a bit cooler, and women love it when it's hot. Don't know why. It's just kind of... At least that's generally been my experience. Maybe people have had contrasting experiences, but anyway. Anyway, yeah, the check mark is there. So okay, so that's done. All right. Exercise number 3. Почему? Why? Answer the boys' questions. Oh no, answer boys' questions. This is also a typical Russian formulation that you would see from a Russian person writing in English, because since Russian doesn't have articles like the or a, Russians often are not clear on when you should use. I mean, it's obviously a Russian lesson, not an English lesson, so it's not that big a deal if there's an error or a typo in the English. But I would say this should be answer the boys' questions, but here they just write answer boys' questions. Choose the answer you think is correct. Okay. Question number 1. Почему Черное море синее, а Белое море синее? Why is the Black Sea blue and the White Sea blue? Possible answers are потому что это море because they are seas. Не знаю, I don't know. Потому что есть краска. Because it's paint. I guess, well, obviously it's not paint. That's just silly. I guess не знаю could be a correct answer, but because they are seas, that's not really a very informative answer. But that's the kind of answer that you would give to a kid who is. I mean, he's reading these questions out of a book. He could maybe just find the answers in the book. But I guess that's the kind of answer that you would give to a pesky kid who's asking too many questions when he get tired of answering his questions. Почему машина работает? And why does a car work? Потому что там есть мотор, because it has a motor. Потому что это машина, because it's a car. Не знаю, I don't know. I guess all of these could be correct answers. Why does a car work? Because it's a car. Well, because it has a motor. Okay, let's try that. Did I select? Yeah, okay. And why do penguins not live in India? Они там живут. They do live there. Потому что там очень жарко, а пингвины не любят жару. Because it's very hot there and penguins don't like heat. Or pingvini, кто это? Penguins, who are that? Who are they? Well, yeah, I mean, this is true. Penguins do not like heat, and it does get pretty hot in India, so I guess that is a correct answer. Почему дети не пьют кофе? And why do children not drink coffee? Потому что это плохо, because it's bad. Потому что это дорого, because it's expensive. Не знаю. Well, is coffee I guess coffee is not good for children. Actually, it's not really good for adults either, but okay, I'll say because it's bad. Это плохо. А почему мы живем в городе, а бабушка в деревне? Why do we live in the city, but grandma lives in the countryside? Потому что мы живем в ее квартире. Because we live in this apartment. Потому что она любит природу, because she likes nature. Потому что папа не любит бабушку, because dad does not like grandma. Again, I kind of feel like any of these could possibly be correct answers. Hold on, let me check. What answer did they expect? Okay, this one, because she likes the nature. I guess that's the most neutral, meaningful kind of answer. А почему в Москве в декабре холодно, а в Сиднее тепло? Why is it in December it's cold in Moscow but warm in Sydney, Australia? Moskva, где это? Moscow, where's that? Sydney, где это? Where's Sydney? And потому что это разные климаты. Because they are different climates. Yes, that one's pretty obvious. Почему люди любят мультфильмы? Why do people like cartoons? I don't know, you tell me. I mean, the kid could probably explain that better than the adult. Потому что это интересно, because it's interesting. Потому что это скучно, because it's boring. Потому что это медленно. What's медленно? I should know this, but somehow slow. Медленно is because it's slow? No, because it's interesting. Okay. А почему никто не хочет работать? Why does nobody like to work? Here you already see an example of the Russian double negation, which is in English would be in English it would be an error, a grammatical error, but in Russian the double negative is actually commonly correct. And why does nobody not like to work? In English, if somebody said nobody don't like to work, you would say that's a grammatical error. But in Russian, if you say it like this is correct. Why does nobody not like to work? So possible answers: because потому что это трудно, because it's difficult. Потому что мало денег, because of little money. Потому что люди любят отдыхать. I guess this kind of depends on your work and how much you get paid. Do you not like to work because it's difficult, because you don't get much money, or because people like to relax. I mean, I think any of these could be possible answers. I think they want the last answer, people like to relax. That depends on the person. Почему папа любит пить пиво? Why does dad like to, why does dad like to drink beer? Possible answers, because it's tasty, потому что это вкусно. Вкусно is tasty. Ты еще маленький, не поймешь. You are still small, you wouldn't understand. Потому что дома нет кофе, because there's no coffee at home. I guess because it's tasty. Okay, final question. Почему днем светло, а ночью темно? Why is it light during the daytime but dark at night? Потому что днем солнце на небе, а ночью оно спит. Because the sun is, during the day, the sun is in the sky, but at night it sleeps. Не знаю, I don't know. Ты еще маленький, не помнишь. Once again, you're still small, you wouldn't understand. I get the impression that at this point the person answering the questions is getting tired of answering the questions. I'll say because the sun is in the sky during the day, but it sleeps at night. And okay, the website liked all of my answers. I think I passed the child's test. Okay, months and seasons. So one thing that you might notice is for an English speaker or someone speaking, a similar Germanic language, the months are usually pretty easy. December is Dekaber, then there's January is Janvar, Fevral, Mart, April, Mai, Jun, Jul, August, September, October, and Noyabr. So the months are all very similar to their names in English, but the seasons are completely different. So winter is Zima, spring is Vesna, summer is Leto, and then Osin is autumn or fall. And just as with the days of the week, I must admit that this is another place where I tend to have trouble remembering these names. Like I said, the months are easy, the seasons are not so easy. For me personally, I don't know how it is for you. I guess everybody's different, but for me personally, I found the seasons somehow rather difficult. So now we answer some questions. Когда, which means when. Когда Рождество в Европе и в Америке? Рождество, I think, shows up in the vocabulary here. Yes, it does. Рождество is Christmas. This is one of those cultural things which is a bit difficult to... Well, it's a bit difficult to know if you don't know Russian culture or you've never lived in Russia. Obviously, probably most of you know, in North America and in... I like how they say Europe, too. I mean, question 1, when is Christmas in Europe and in America, contrasts with question 3, when is Christmas in Russia? This is another common thing. I consider most of Russia to be, or at least most of the Russian populace to live in Europe. Technically, Moscow and not only Moscow, but Russia west of the Ural Mountains is usually considered geographically to be in Europe. But Russians themselves tend to not consider it that way. Russians consider Europe to mean basically, well, today they usually mean the European Union. I don't know if Ukraine or Belarus are considered Europe to Russians, but when they say Europe, they almost always mean the EU, or basically everything west of the former Soviet Union. That's Europe in common parlance in Russia, even though technically, like I said, Russia west of the Urals, which is where most people live, that's also, I consider that Europe, and geographers usually consider that Europe. But here when they say when is Christmas in Europe and in America, I would say they mean Western Europe, Western or Central Europe. And the answer is obviously in December, so I'll just copy and paste, в декабре. В декабре is the answer here. And then когда Новый год? When is the New Year? Obviously in January, so январье. And then we come to the question, when is Christmas in Russia? And the curious thing about Russia is that the answer is still в январе. So in Russia, you have the New Year before Christmas, and then after New Year, then you celebrate Christmas, and usually people in Russia take, I think 10 days off. Usually, pretty much all of Russia shuts down for 10 days while people are celebrating Christmas, because it's not just a one-day celebration like it is in the West, but it's actually a 10-day vacation. So, yeah, kind of a curiosity about the calendar. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about it right now, but this is something about Russia, that in Russia, Christmas is observed in January. Когда люди обычно отдыхают? Обычно is like usually or typically or customarily. So when do people usually take vacation? I guess usually in the summer. And I guess the answer is летом, in summer. I mean, technically, I know some people who prefer not to take vacation in the summer because it's too hot. They would rather take vacation in spring or autumn, but that's, it's a personal preference. I'm going to assume the answer they're looking for here is летом, in the summer. Okay, and now we have a few questions which you just have to know. I mean, if you don't know, there's not really much way to guess. Когда День Победы в России? Победы means victory. So when is Victory Day in Russia? Not surprisingly, Victory Day is about World War II, so you can consider this the day that the German Nazis were officially considered defeated by the Soviet Union in World War II, and that was in May. So in Mai is May, and in May is Maya. So I'll put that here, Maya. Yeah, that's the Day of Victory in Russia. Когда День Конституции в России? Constitution Day in Russia. Obviously another important historical day in Russia, which, again, if you don't know, then you really have no way of knowing. You'd have to look it up. That is in December, I believe. And then День Космонавтики. When is the Day of Cosmonauts in Russia? A day commemorating the space cosmonauts, because Russians are very proud of their Soviet history of, being the first in space, launching, that space program. So, Day of Cosmonauts in Russia, I believe, is in April. So, апреле. Когда дети идут в школу в России? When do children go to school in Russia? Or I guess when do they start school in Russia is what they mean. That's in September, just as in the West. That this is one day which is the same in Russia and in the West. Сентябрь. September is the start of school. And then когда День труда? What is День труда? I actually don't even know. What is День труда? Hold on, let me check. I should have looked that up. What is Truda? Oh, Labor Day, right. When is Labor Day? I think this also depends on the country. Different countries have different Labor Days, but I guess they mean Labor Day in Russia, which I believe is in Labor Day in Russia. I believe that's also in May. Yeah, May in Russia is also Labor Day. So there we go. So a lot of questions here which are more about Russian culture than about the Russian language, but okay. And now suddenly it explains, oh, I see, because this is the difference between потому что and поэтому. So потому что is because, поэтому is why. So for example, я работаю завтра, потому что завтра понедельник. I work tomorrow because tomorrow is понедельник. What was понедельник? Monday? I think that was Monday. Whereas поэтому is more like therefore. Завтра понедельник, tomorrow is Monday, therefore I work. So pretty straightforward. You can read the rest of these if you'd like, but I hope that the distinction is fairly clear already. And here we have our last exercise of the lesson. Потому что или поэтому. So is it because or is it therefore? This should be hopefully fairly easy. Actually, you can kind of tell already by the length of the text boxes. If you look at the length of these text boxes, you can see they match up with the length of the expected answer, and поэтому is a bit shorter than потому что, so you can kind of eyeball it and say, okay, the first one is longer, the second one is shorter, so the first one should be потому что, and then the second one should be поэтому. I'll just go ahead and make that lowercase. Oh, it would be nice if I had the Russian keyboard still active. Okay, so let's go ahead and read these. But I mean, again, it's pretty obvious. It's not really, even without looking at any of the language, it's pretty easy to guess. But let's be fair and read these so that at least we understand what the sentences say. Дети любят мороженое, потому что это вкусно. Okay, children like мороженое because it is tasty. And I don't know what мороженое is. Something tasty, I'm going to guess. And of course, it's not in the vocabulary. Why would it be? What is мороженое? Let's see. I'm trying to be fair and make sure that we understand everything in the lesson and not just skip through and say these are the right answers. So мороженое. Oh, it's ice cream. Okay. Interesting. Ice cream is not, excuse me. Ice cream is actually not, you can imagine it's not especially popular in Russia because ice cream is cold and Russians usually don't need something that cools you down. Of course, they do have it in the summer. In summer, you can buy ice cream in Russia, but it's not something that I encountered very often. Okay, next. Мои часы очень дорогие, поэтому я люблю их. My chassis, my hours? Hold on, am I interpreting that correctly? Let me try to do a bit of translating of this here because I somehow get the feeling that I might be misunderstanding something here. Oh, clock. Not hours, duh, not hours, but clock. My clock is very expensive, therefore I like it. Okay. I like my clock because it's very expensive. Really? Okay. John знает Марию. John knows Mario because it's for some reason I thought of Mario because this last letter here looks kind of like an I-O in English, and somehow mentally I made the association with Mario, but no, it's Maria. John knows Maria because she is his colleague, so потому что, because she is his colleague. Okay. Сегодня друзья смотрят футбол на стадионе. Сегодня суббота. Okay. So once again, because today my friends looked at or watched football in a stadium because today is Saturday. Okay. На улице очень холодно. Something все дома. So, okay. На улице is common Russian for outside. This literally means on the street. So you can literally translate this as on the street it's very cold, but they mean outside it's very cold. Therefore, everyone is home. So it wouldn't make sense if you said on the street it's very cold because everyone is home. The cause and effect is reversed here. On outside it's very cold, therefore, поэтому everyone is home. Мою бабушку зовут Екатерина. Меня тоже зовут Екатерина. Okay, I see. So my grandmother is named Ekaterina. For that reason, I am also named Ekaterina. So they named the daughter after the daughter's grandmother, or after the girl's grandmother. Родители отдыхают на море. Они любят солнце и воду. So this is потому что, because parents vacation at the sea because they like sun and water. And at the sea, well, you don't necessarily get sun, but you get water. I guess you can't really have much of a sea without water. Бабушка и дедушка живут в деревне, потому что они не любят город. Grandma and grandpa live in the countryside because they do not like the city. And this is true actually in Russia as well. Older people very often, it is kind of a pattern that you see. Often older people don't live in the city. When people get old, they kind of retire out in the countryside. They have a small country house like a dacha or something and they live there. And people who live in the city tend to be younger. And it makes sense, but it's not necessarily a pattern that you see in Western countries. In Western countries, you see a lot of older people in cities as well. Well, you do see older people in Russian cities. I'm not saying that everybody in Russian cities is young, but there does tend to be a pattern where people will retire out to the countryside and get away from the city as they get older. Anyway, Varvara, not Barbara, but Varvara, vegetarianka. Well, I guess this could be... Well, okay, judging by the length of the box, I'm going to assume that they want to say поэтому. What this is saying is Varvara is a vegetarian, therefore she does not eat meat. But the inverse is also true. It's not really... There's not really a unidirectional cause and effect here. You could say Varvara is a vegetarian because she doesn't eat meat, or you could say she's a vegetarian and therefore she doesn't eat meat. Both of those are true. So I think that could actually be either one. But, okay. Хорошо говорю по-русски. Я все понимаю. I speak Russian well. I understand everything. Is that because I understand everything or therefore I understand everything? I'm actually not sure. Doesn't really make sense either way. Speaking Russian is different from understanding. You understand when somebody speaks to you. But if you speak Russian well, that doesn't necessarily mean that you understand everything. Don't know. I'm just trying to eyeball the length of that text box. It looks like it's a little bit longer, so I'm going to guess they expect потому что, but I'm not too sure about that. Let's consider that question mark and maybe come back to that one later if it turns out that I gave a wrong answer somewhere. Его сестра не любит политику. Это неинтересно. Okay. This is, yeah. His sister does not like politics because it's not interesting. This is also a typical sort of Russian stereotype, which is kind of true. Women are not usually interested in politics. Politics is seen, particularly in Russia. I mean, I guess this is a stereotype in the West as well, but especially in more traditional Eastern countries, politics is seen as a man's game and not a subject for women. And it's not only a chauvinistic perspective. Even women say that. Like women in Russia will often say, "Oh, I don't care about politics. I don't want to get involved with politics. I leave that for the men." So women see politics as too combative and too aggressive and too conflicting, and they don't want to get involved with it. So anyway, ты любишь меня? Я люблю тебя. Okay, once again, this could go either way. You love me because I love you, or you love me, therefore I love you. I mean, it's very obviously a circle. If you love someone, if you can love a person because they love you, I mean, first, I don't think that's really valid reasoning anyway. I don't think you should love someone just because they love you. It can happen that one person loves another, but the feeling is not mutual. But if you can love a person because they love you, then it would be correct to say, you love me because I love you. It would also be correct to say, you love me, therefore I love you. So it could be either one. I really don't know. Again, looking at the length, I think it looks like it's потому что, but that's really a little bit silly. It could be either one. Okay. Он купил эту шубу. She is дешевая. What is дешевая? Okay, that's a word that seems a bit... I have to admit, that's a word that seems foreign to me. So let me quickly try to... Дешевая. Oh, inexpensive or cheap. He bought this shuba because it's cheap. Okay, well yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you say поэтому, then you would say, well, that would mean he bought this shubu and therefore it is cheap. I guess that might also, well, okay, I'm pretty sure it's потому что. Okay, Наташа любит готовить пасту. Ее муж любит есть пасту. Okay, that's kind of sweet. It's a little bit romantic. Natasha likes to cook pasta because her husband likes to eat pasta. So she likes to cook it for him just because he likes to eat it. Well, that's sweet. That's kind of romantic. And finally, я хочу купить новую машину. Это престижно. Judging by the length, I'm pretty sure this must be потому что. Okay, good. We got everything correct. Okay, that's great. So I'll just translate. What is prestižno? Is that like prestige? Or prestigious? I mean, obviously, the word looks like the... Yeah, prestigious. Okay. I want to buy a new car because it is prestigious. Okay, that's a bit of a consumerist mentality there, but okay. Well, I won't comment on that, but linguistically it is a sentence linguistically it's a correct sentence, so there you go. Like I said, actually, that ended up lasting longer than I thought. I took longer on this lesson than I thought I would, but yeah. Почему, why, потому что, because, and поэтому, therefore, or for that reason. So, pretty straightforward. I think that part should be pretty easy. I think the hardest part of this lesson might be memorizing the names of the 4 seasons. Zima, winter, весна, spring, лето, summer, and осень, fall or autumn. And like I said, I still have trouble with this to this day. Months are easy, seasons are hard. All right, that was lesson 12 of Learn Russian. I hope that it was interesting and that you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see each other next time for lucky lesson 13. Until then, пока.